exactly where I wanted it to go. So are you saying kids are where the tax benefits come from, or the superficial monogamy declaration, in your own words, is that where the tax benefit comes in?
I don't know why there's a tax benefit there, but I'm fine with it. I would not change it.
Dusty, is this? I lost
Right.
on one
So
argument,
out of
so I'm
one
going to bring
side
a
of your
different
face, you
argument up
claim
to lose on.
morality, but out of the other side of your face, you say any way to
Hold
circumvent
on.
taxes is a moral argument.
Hold
It's
on.
incoherent.
Jason hasn't talked nearly as much. Nobody's talked as much as he has, except for like me and Lindsay, maybe. Go ahead, Jason.
My question is his whole argument? I lost on the last argument, so I'm just going to bring up something different now to try to lose also.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Jason.
I was asking, I mean, you brought up something totally unrelated. I mean, did you just get your ass handed to you on the other argument, so you switched arguments because you were losing on the other argument?
I haven't lost a single argument, but go ahead and explain how I have.
You went off on a totally different tangent because you couldn't freaking. I mean, have you ever been married or even had a long-term relationship in your life?
I'll give you 3 sentences to describe what marriage is, Jason. Go ahead.
No, hold on. This is dumb. Nobody wants to keep playing the definition game with you over and over again. Welcome, Eliza.
Hello.
And real quick, a lot of people are still watching, or Glenn's still signed in, even though he's gone. A lot of people are watching on Glenn's X. If you would like to join, there's a link pinned in my chat where people can join the channel. So I'll put a banner up with my YouTube account so that you can find me, and go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I didn't really have anything important to say, about this, Dusty. I mean,
my point, Jason, is the entailments that come along with some type of universal colloquial idea of what marriage means. So marriage isn't something solidified. You can do it. You can enter it or leave it at will, but you also get tax benefits when you enter it at will. This is what I'm digging down in.
Not everyone gets tax benefits from being married. I can already tell you.
I think you do.
Right. So like I just asked
Dusty, not everyone does. Because if you make enough money,
children?
you still pay in. You don't get money back.
But I mean, you pay in less if you're.
Well,
rich.
that's true. But I mean, very minimal.
Well, yeah, the benefits are in place while they're in place. There's nothing unfair about that.
Yeah.
Right. So while Dusty is being condescending and acting like it's just a known, what I'm asking you, Jason, is why can somebody just be married and pay less taxes versus having kids and paying less taxes?
We've answered this.
Can I answer that?
No, you haven't actually answered it, and I'm still waiting, but go ahead.
The reason why is because whenever you're married, it is no longer just you that is being taxed. It's you and your partner. You all are being taxed collectively. Therefore, what looks like it's less isn't really less. It just is less on a collective level. Whenever you're having children, they are making accommodations for people who are single that are having children, as well as people who are married that are having children. So whenever you're having children, there are certain type of benefits that go specifically towards your ability to upbring your children, right? So a lot of the tax benefits that you would get would be certain things like food, like clothing, like schooling, if they are in private school and things of this nature. Even in public school, there are certain things that need to be done, like uniforms, like certain type of finances for certain type of classes, certain type of schooling, and certain type of criteria.
Yep.
So this is why it looks like there is, as far as verbally, there is less taxes paid. It's not really less. It's just collectively, it is slightly less because whenever you and somebody else is being taxed together, which is one of the benefits that marriage also comes with, they wanted to look more appeasing legally instead of people go ahead and they're having a ceremony and they're binding themselves together without the government being in their shit. So that's why.
So let's put the multiplier effect of being a family that's still together and getting that tax benefit. If I'm a person that lives with a roommate that has no kids with my male roommate, so it's male roommates, should I still get those benefits because I live with that person? And then on top of that, you're making an argument that is post hoc of what we're actually talking about. You're talking about having children together. The main issue is that whether people just make a declarative statement and then they're together in marriage and then they get tax benefits. There's no kids in the picture. The woman's womb is still virgin, right? But they still get the same benefits. So you're making an issue for children. And then, to be honest, when it comes to children, I agree with you. Give them a tax break. They're raising children. These children are going to take care of us when we're older. That's fine. No problem there. But it's just
Okay, so here's the thing.
That's my answer.
So whenever you sat there and said that somebody was making an argument, I actually came up here to sit there and speak on the topic, which was no fault divorce. I didn't come up here to speak on to argue or debate with you over the benefits legally of marriage. Now, to answer your question, you can live with whomever you want to live with, but guess what? You did not sign something under the government's eyes that says that the IRS, which is a third party collective agency, we'll go ahead and call, they have every right to look into your finances as a couple. You sat there and specifically said that you and a male roommate, legally are still just that. You all are roommates. The only thing that you all have joined or combined, hopefully.
That's wrong. You're coupled together within the type of...
Please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. The only thing that you all have joined collectively is the rent, hopefully. Possibly a name on a lease. Possibly. But once again, I say it like that because even with those two scenarios, we already understand this is wonderful America. People can sit there and figure out and finagle. Sir, don't be rude because somebody is honestly. I literally got to it. Don't be rude. So if you're sitting there and talking about roommates, the only thing that you all have joined would be the lease on an apartment. You all did not decide to go ahead and put all of your finances together so that the government can go ahead and look in. And if you did, hey, kudos to you. But that sounds more like a marriage whenever you're giving the government permission to look into your standing. So this can be financial. This, in some cases, can be the type of union or relationship you have. To answer your question. Now,
okay, so let me ask you.
No, you can't. So can I please go ahead and begin to speak on no fault divorce? Because that's what I came up here for.
Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want. You already know that.
So I wanted to know if anybody was, I already know who's going to respond when I say this. I was wanting to know who would be against no fault divorce. Oh, I'm shocked. No one spoke up.
Losers.
Ben, I don't really have a solid stance on it, to be honest.
My cigarette. I'm against it.
Why?
Because it ruins the institution. It's worse for the children. It's absolutely just an oath breaking. If number one, in fault divorces, and it's interesting because everybody that argues for no fault then immediately starts listing things like, oh, well, he could be violent and cheating, but those were all, it was okay to get divorced when those things happened before.
That's not my point.
You've listed that stuff in your things where as soon as you start,
I mean that stuff does happen, but I don't. That's not all. I don't think I don't think you need one of those. You don't need one of those.
When it's
guys,
can you not yell at the man on his own channel?
Well, not just that.
Shut up.
Okay, so you said your response was a lot of emotional things. So
no, it wasn't.
Okay, so here's the thing. The main reason that abuse and things like that are brought up.
You want to make it less long-winded,
sir?
Less of a diatribe.
Chill your ADHD the fuck out.
It's not even ADHD. It's just literally a level of being disrespectful.
You talk shit about me being emotional. Now you get shit back.
You're not supposed to snort your Ritalin, dude.
Well, it's not even that. Sir, I said your responses are emotional. I will go
And I
ahead
said
and
you're
replay how.
long-winded. Can you make
Sir,
it shorter?
Sir,
So
I will
let's go.
replay how. You sat there and said it's an oath breaking. An oath breaking is an emotional standpoint because if somebody's getting their ass whooped, I'm pretty sure the last thing they're worried about is that, oh, they are trying to get themselves, and if there are any children there,
Did
they
she
are
just
trying to
bring
get
up
them to
violence
safety.
like a dumb fuck?
Okay.
Holy
Okay,
shit,
great.
that's hilarious.
Yes, it is. I'm going to
Hilarious.
continue. So, and then you also
That's
sat there
all
and
her
made,
fault,
and then you also
dumbass.
said, okay, great,
She's
sure.
following
And then
along with
you,
that moron. She's saying that you won't need a no fault for that. You follow along, retard.
so along with that, right?
Not what you're saying.
You also, I'm not going to argue, sir. If you are a man, I am not going to argue with you. You should be able to have the wherewithal to
Oh,
let someone
argue with
speak.
women.
Why are
You
you on
think
a
I give
debate
a
panel?
fuck who you?
And why are you talking shit if you can't take it back?
Once again, I'm not taking anything back. I'm trying to complete my statement so you will have a full understanding because obviously you don't.
You seem like a bitter
So,
dude. Are you scoring?
It's it's not that. It's not that. But please don't
Comedy.
make it on. Okay.
Finish up.
So, whenever we're sitting here and talking about a no fault divorce, first of all, anybody that feels that they are unsafe, that feels like they are in a hazardous situation, okay, can or should be able to get a fault divorce. If you're sitting there and talking about oaths and you were talking about promises and how it is less financially convenient for others, those are things that can also be discussed. If you actually have a no fault divorce, what that means is that both parties are agreeing to divorce. That means that you also have say. You also have a voice.
Both parties don't have to agree to it.
Both parties don't have to agree to a no fault divorce, sir. That is not accurate.
It is accurate. You go to the courthouse, you file for divorce. This is why the first one filing divorce usually wins.
That's not
Then
true
they
either.
get the other one served.
Not true either. Well,
That's not true
usually,
either.
but
Yeah, not true.
here's the
I mean, I
thing:
think it is true. It's definitely a huge advantage.
it's a huge advantage.
It is.
Advantage, yes, but fact,
And
no.
why are everybody just fucking
You
saying
can-
not true?
Ben, you
Because
can
if you
ask someone-
bring certain situations into court, that
You
shit
shut
will
up.
turn around on their
Don't give a
fucking
fuck.
head.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Be
And they'll
intimidated.
lose.
Ask me to shut the fuck up because you know I'm gonna destroy your
fuck up,
fucking
Doc.
bullshit ass argument.
Shut the fuck
you
up.
can have
You lame
You can
brain
have
fuck.
you
Can't
can
we
have
love
one
one
party
another?
claiming no fault and file first claiming no fault.
No, he's too
The
ugly,
other
Chuck.
party can come in. If the other party comes in and can establish grounds, the grounds will win every time.
Thank you.
There is no grounds. That's why in those lists, when Sasquatch brought that up, specifically it said, then one that does have grounds doesn't get recognized. That's one of the problems of it. Sasquatch pulled it up on screen.
I don't know
And
what
we discussed it.
Listen, I don't know what he pulled up. My divorce at the end of 2022. Okay. He filed no fault. I filed grounds. I won as the defendant.
Joseph, you're backstage because you refuse to exercise self-control. So I am exercising control for you, of you.
But I'm sure you can buy your way back on panel.
He's back now. He just needed to hear that. But that does remind me, anybody can buy anybody off panel if you so choose. $1 a minute, $10 minimum. Anybody can be dropped or revived except for me. I'm $2 a minute.
You should
What
be
do you think?
$5 a minute.
Well, I was going to say that too. She just read my mind. You're the host. You should be able to bump it up a bit.
You
Make
know,
them
I
earn
do
it.
try to be pragmatic and not overtalk people, but it's not always so easy when you have 10 people spooling around.
I don't care. I don't care.
He just
Everybody
asked
else can
Grit
do
a
it.
question.
So you're going to learn how to exercise self-control, or I will exercise control over you.
Am I allowed to
Not
get
that
on a
hard.
one-on?
Go ahead,
Not
Grit.
that hard. Yeah.
So I'm in the hotel right now. My flight got canceled, so I have really crappy internet. So If it sucks, it sucks. Sorry, can't do anything about it. Well,
You're a shot show.
I
Good to
was
see
at
you,
Shot
Grid.
Show.
I'm really jealous of that.
I was there last year, Grid. It's one of the best places to be.
Yeah. This is the stack of cards I got from people who are going to be on my show.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I was there to
Jesus.
work. I was there to work, and I worked. So no fault divorce. I don't support it. I don't think it's a real thing. It cheapens marriage. I think marriage is already cheap enough. It'll be a little harder to get into and out of. But that's just my personal opinion. For society wise, I believe in covenant marriage. So that comes with its own set of rules. And if you're, just look, if people want to be stupid, I can't get in the way of people being stupid. I've tried before.
Covenant
Not be stupid, but it never works.
Covenant marriage is an option for people, and most people choose not to do it.
I couldn't hear it.
Covenant marriage is already an option for people who want that.
In most states, Tennessee is.
What do you
just
mean by
passed a law
covenant?
recognizing? Yeah, Tennessee just passed a law recognizing covenant marriages on the state level. So.
I thought by covenant you meant that it's one that excludes the state.
Well, yes. Obviously, you can go to. Well, it's sticky because sure you can go to your clergy, get married, but the state doesn't recognize that as a marriage, right?
The marriage didn't start with the state anyway, so it doesn't matter what they recognize.
Well, I was still speaking, sir. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you, sir?
No, I was just making a caveat.
No, continue, please.
I was just making a caveat to that statement.
Are you done? Can I finish? Okay.
Go ahead, Grid.
Anyway, so what Tennessee has done, and I think other states should follow, is recognize that you can have a marriage based in the church, that the church and then require you go through the process of getting divorced through the church. So you could not, if you sign up as a covenant marriage, it's exceedingly difficult, if not impossible, to have what we would consider a no-fault divorce. Now, Tennessee is a state where you can. It's been. We don't have what's called no fault. We have uncontested, and that does require both people to not contest the marriage. So while technically, what I've been listening to is correct, right? Like, if one person files for divorce, in some states, that's as long as the other person doesn't fight against it too much, that's the end of it. It's divorce. But here it has to be uncontested, or it becomes a full-on divorce proceeding. There's no shortcut there. I don't know how it works in other states. I've never been divorced, and I've never really seriously pursued it. I think people are basically, just getting in over their heads. And while I'm all for people, being able to make mistakes and learn from them, I think that, maybe the education is just not to get married in the first place if you can't take it seriously.
Can I ask Grid a question real quick here?
Mm-hmm.
Grid, if the biggest thing is, I assume you have issues with when it comes down to no fault divorces, like looking at it from the religious perspective, correct?
Why would you assume that?
I'm just guessing at it. I could totally be wrong.
Yeah,
it's a reasonable assumption.
That.
It's a reasonable assumption. That's where most people's objection comes from.
Well, I don't really care which God you choose to pray to. That's your business. However, marriage in and of itself, even the ceremony, the procedure of getting married has, regardless of whether or not you're in a church, there's a ceremony to it. It is binding, right? I don't care.
Ceremonies aren't.
Is it
The
not?
ceremony is not binding at all.
When
The paperwork is.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the viewpoint.
No, it doesn't. Are we talking
I
about
think
legally
so.
binding?
Well, the ceremony in and of itself isn't legally binding, but not anymore. But
That's my point.
I believe it is binding. I mean, are you not? So, the little sheet of paper they gave me doesn't mean that my wife and I are married. That's a trivial.
Well, you used a legal word, so legally it's not binding.
Well, I don't.
Oh,
use the law to
Sasquatch
bind me. No,
definition.
Hold on. If you meant it's more meaningful, that's fine.
I
But
mean binding.
meaningfulness is not enforced legally.
Okay.
So
No, it's spiritually binding. It is mentally and spiritually
It has to be
binding.
spiritually. It can just simply be that you like it. All right. So if I shake your hand as a man and I say I'm going to do this, and I don't do it, you think less of me because of that. But we have an agreement, a man, and so if I break that, it's a big deal, right? That's binding. It's my
Right, because-
handshake is as good as a legal contract. Marriage should be approached in the same way. When you walk down that aisle, regardless of whether or not you believe in God, whether or not the state is involved, when you make that commitment and promise to each other, that's binding.
What if we make a promise? What if we then shake hands again to dissolve the promise?
What do you mean dissolve the promise?
If we both want to go separate ways.
Sure.
Can we shake hands again and undo it?
I'm certain that you can negotiate, like, all right, for example, it doesn't matter how much, so it doesn't really matter, what example we use, but let's just take a business arrangement, right? Like I go into a handshake deal with somebody that I'm going to provide something for X period of time, and it's going to be in perpetuity, right? And midway through, I'm like, this isn't working for me. It's not a good deal anymore. Let's talk about this. If we can come to terms on that, we shake hands and we part as friends. Now, if we can't, now we've got to get the law involved. Now, I don't know if you know this, but in a lot of states, including Tennessee, a handshake deal, even just written on it can be just written on a napkin, is illegal. That can be legally enforced
if you can prove that it was actually signed.
Well, not just that. Okay, so here's the thing, because I understand where I can't see your name, darling. The one that's in the top right corner, that's in the hotel.
Grid one.
I'm grid one.
Oh, Mr. Grid. Okay, so here's the thing. With the examples that you use, there were also words that you were beginning to use that you chose not to, such as renegotiate. And then you also use the example of writing a contract on even a napkin. Now, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. That then does become legally binding because you can take that napkin to court. And because the contract was written and signed, then it is still considered valid. Now, whenever we're talking about the ceremony, a lot of times it is and you're absolutely right, it is an oath, it is a promise that is made. Usually it is made amongst friends or what we consider witnesses, right?
May I address the previous point before we move on?
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you. So I use a piece of napkin just as an illustration, but it's witnessed. If Flo State and I, or if Flo State's in the state of Tennessee and I shake his hand and we have a witness there that
and
says,
we get married?
No, we're not getting married. But let's just say, I agree to loan him, some property, and he can do whatever he needs to with it for X period of time, farm it, grow horses, whatever, I don't know. And then I decide that I don't want to do that anymore. I'm gonna bulldoze it off clean, and I'm going to put a park up for dogs or something. And Flo's like, "Nah, man, it don't work for me." We'd have to go to court over it probably, and in court I would have my two witnesses or whatever that said, "Yep, I saw him shake hands. It's not hearsay. This is what happened." He would bring his witness to say, "Yeah, they shook hands, but they didn't spit first and lock it in like in the olden days." Whatever, I don't know, but the witness part of it, I didn't really want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but But right, there's a reason why marriage ceremonies are the way they are. There's a reason there's a witness. There's a reason that you do it before everyone, regardless of whether it's religion, regardless of, there's a whole tribe, Indians were not, didn't believe in, were not Christian, and their marriage ceremonies were done in front of the entire tribe so that everyone knew, everyone witnessed it. So
because it's a social signal.
Okay, so to be able to go ahead and touch on those notes, yes.
I'm sorry, I went too long. I apologize.
No, you're fine. Yes, there are witnesses, but even continuing with the scenario that you gave, if you decide that you want to change your mind, the first thing that needs to be done is you to inform the other person that
Correct.
you have. I'm sorry. To inform them, and that would be considered the renegotiation because, hey, we need to know if it works for them. If it doesn't work for them, let's renegotiate the terms and conditions of our contract. So that's where, a lot of stuff is done before you have to take it to court. So when we're talking about no fault divorce, and if we are taking it to court, because let's be very clear. Usually, now I'm not saying every time, usually whenever people are considering getting divorced, there is a conversation that is had, regardless of whether it is recorded, regardless of whether it is made public for witnesses, regardless of whether the witnesses can just be police officers or even some of the neighbors that are hearing them yelling outside. That all of those things are still put in place. And then afterwards, usually we get to renegotiating of the deal. And due to whatever the case may be, this can be history, this can be abuse, this can be emotions that may have gone awry. This can be a plethora of things where somebody will sit there and say, you know what, I don't like those new terms and conditions for whatever reason. And then the next thing to do would be to take it to court. Now, if it is literally just, okay, out of the blue, oh my goodness, you know what, I saw a blue flower. Oh, I want to get divorced. Then I agree with you guys. That is absolutely absurd. But usually, because divorce has a stigma of being financially heavy, emotionally heavy, especially if there's children. We're not even taking into consideration if there's children and how they will be affected by said separation, how their lifestyle will be affected, the money, the time, the emotional ties and bandwidth and all this other kind of stuff, right? So assuming that there are no children, a lot of times, once again, one would sit there and take it to court. Now, you're absolutely right. One can sit there and bring a witness. In a lot of cases, the witnesses would be police officers, even though they shouldn't be witnesses if they're there to be police officers. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But in those cases, that would also be the witness. So, I mean, whenever we're sitting there having these conversations about no fault divorce, there is a lot more that goes into that, as in what are the reasons that most people do the no fault divorce. And I believe, I wasn't here for it, but I believe that people were expressing the reasons for that prior. And none of those reasons were because somebody sat there and saw a blue flower, or they sat there and saw a sunflower and decided, ooh, I want to be single because the flower is so beautiful.
So this is a good conversation to have. I'm sorry, I cut you off there. I apologize. This is a good conversation to have because I do think that there's a lot of things that people just throw out there. They're just talking, they're just saying stuff, right? But we do know that there is a phenomenon in modernity of the starter husband, right? Where women literally just marry someone. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't believe.
No, it's not. That's some red pill jargon.
No. That's
I've never heard of it until now.
I've seen it. I've literally seen the video.
That's hard. One moment, Dusty. When I married my wife, her father, brother, and sister said it was fine because I was her starter husband, and they let that shit go. And we've been married for 20 years, 19.
Thank you.
Check the date, but it's just there is such a thing, and there is a literal culture built around the idea that you can just divorce them and move on.
I didn't believe it. I honestly didn't. I thought it was bullshit. But I've now seen it. I got enough evidence that I'm like,
I've never heard of a starter husband. I think it's just made up
Really?
bullshit. You could say the same.
I
How
can
could you
make it
say,
up.
okay, there's the same thing as a starter wife?
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
I've heard of
absolutely.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
So
heard that
these,
term
phra-
too.
these
I'm
phrases
not
don't mean
buying
anything.
it.
It's just a cheeky way of saying, "Oh, I wasn't married very long to my first spouse."
Well, there's different connotations, but I don't want to get too derailed off of where I was going with that. But we do have.
Well, are you
we do
building
have.
on
It
it?
does seem to me that a lot of people get into relationships and consider them very disposable, and this is my big problem. Right? I honestly don't care. Look, if you legitimately gotten to the point where you are roommates that occasionally fuck, and you just don't care anymore, and there aren't kids, and you're in a nowhere relation, you're never going to go anywhere. Fine, whatever, right? Like you both, and you're not, and you're both going to go no contest, something like that. I don't really like it, but hey, it happens. Whatever. I mean, I'm going to assume that that's a fairly small number in reality that happened, right? When we get to where I guess one of the things, and I have a bit different take on this. I'm going to just kind of go through this, and if you'll let me. So there is this mentality, especially amongst men in modernity, that they do all of this, they provide, and whether they actually do or not is irrelevant, but they feel like they provide all of this to women, and then the women take it all from them. Now, my personal slant on this, and of course, I'm not red pill, and by a long shot, and I'm also kind of contrarian anyway. So my personal slant is, if my wife of 20 years came to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, I'm out, you suck, I want out, I'm done,"
Then
that would be amazing. But whatever, it'd be like my hair would probably catch on fire because it would just shock me so much. But I would literally walk away from everything and just start over, because I already made it once. I
agree.
I'm not going to get in a battle with someone that I supposedly love and care for. I think this is a mistake a lot of men make. Either you really love and care for this person, or you hate their fucking guts. Okay?
No.
And I would just be like, yep, okay, deal's
Real
done.
life is more nuanced than that.
It is.
Sure, but I'm not trying to go down every rabbit hole possible, right? Like,
well, I mean, for your own marriage, it'd be worth going down your own life rabbit hole. It's not that black and white.
I would say so.
You can love somebody and hate somebody at the same time.
I don't think that that's a healthy deal.
It's not a healthy deal, but it's definitely possible.
Well, not just that, but going off
I'm
the
sure there's some
example.
out there can suck his own dick. I understand it's possible, but I don't want to. That's not a normal thing.
Okay,
That doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Like,
what I'm saying is this: with the scenario that you gave, right?
Sure.
You took away a lot of any kind of buildup. See, and here's part of the problem. A lot of times, whenever conversations such as these are had, it's almost as if the woman has no autonomy, no say, and out of nowhere, all of a sudden she magically finds her voice and decides that she wants to fucking leave. And here's the thing, that's not the case. Now with women, and mind you, I may call them one thing, you all may call them another. I'm pretty sure every man, including some of the women up here, have heard nagging, bitching, whining, complaining. We've all heard those terms before, yes?
Sure.
Okay. So guess what? Whenever a woman is nagging, bitching, whining, complaining, that is literally her sitting there and telling you that there is an issue. And honestly, if you would sit there and pay attention, I'm not saying that you all don't. I'm just saying that those are the times that whenever those things are not being tended to or not even being acknowledged, then the buildup of a desire for divorce comes. Now, here's the thing with everybody's scenario, it's almost like there is not pre-conversations, there is not trying, there is not adapting and adjusting and hoping for the best and this, that, and the third, right? It's just, on a whim
Where does that
because you
fall
just
into
not
marriage
pay
policy?
attention. Hold on. Because you
Okay.
just now fucking pay attention, all of a sudden she wants to get out. So whenever we were talking about as far as contracts, the renegotiation, that's where all of that shit comes into play. You see it as nagging. You don't see it as she is sitting there and telling you, hey, she wants to reconstruct the terms and the deals of that union or relationship because there's some type of need that's not being met. Just because it's a need that a man is told or indoctrinated to believe does not exist or should not exist, or that is a nuisance, does not mean that it's not a need. So whenever they're doing that, believe it or not, that is their version of, hey, let's
You're
what's the word I'm looking
basically
for?
saying that the communication is the problem. It's not. It's not that things just go wrong and they just go wrong sometimes, or people just become roommates or whatever, any of their circumstances I described. But basically, and obviously it's the man's fault because he doesn't pay attention and he doesn't understand the signals that
And that's not what I said at all. That's not what I said at all.
That is what you said. You said that the man misunderstood what the woman was saying and calling it bitching and moaning and crying, when I don't think that anyone in my mind, I don't think my wife ever actually bitches or moans or cries. She has complaints and I listen to those complaints,
right,
and we come to some agreement on that one way or the other. But
okay, so thank you, you just proved my point, but continue.
My wife has accountability, right? If she
Mhm.
messes up, if she says something, then she'll come to me and say, hey, I shouldn't have said that to you, right?
Yes, that has nothing to do with what I just said, though. Let me go ahead and help you.
You put it all on the dude. Right?
No, I put it in a no.
You didn't say that the woman
No,
is
sir.
making
I put
this
it
man's
in a
life
way.
hard just because she can. You never said
Sir,
that.
I put it in a way because honestly, I've consistently been interrupted and I'm kind of getting irritated with it. I put it in a way to where men, the men that are against that ideology of no fault divorce, because I've yet to hear a woman be against it, and I could be wrong because I have not been here that long. I put it in a way that a man would be able to internalize what is being said to them. They could relate, they could put themselves in that predicament, or they could they could empathize with it. Okay. That's what I did. Now, mind you, at no fault am I ever blaming that 100% on men, because I know very well that there are plenty of women out here that ain't shit bitches and that ain't shit woman. Okay. So I'm not putting that all off on men. Now, what you said, one, you're still married, being that you still refer to her as your wife. Two, you sat there and said, whenever she comes to me with a concern, I take the time to listen, take that into consideration, and then there is follow through of whatever your choice may be. As well as she also holds herself accountable. So whenever there is something that is on her, she also takes accountability, takes that into consideration. She is able to adapt and change accordingly, right? So that is a healthy marriage. We are talking about those people who are not having healthy marriages. We are talking about those people who do not practice that, because with my husband, my husband and I, we also practice that as well. So
what's the point?
Once again, we're still married, right? So just like you. So whenever we're sitting there having that conversation, right, we might not be able to empathize wholeheartedly. What I'm saying is in a way that other people can be able to relate and comprehend what I'm saying, is that I use that scenario whenever a woman is bitching, nagging, and complaining, because there's also other men that'll sit there and go to their ladies and it's like, hey, you know what? If you need help, I can sit there and help you. If you need this, I can go ahead and do this. I would like to sit there and get a BJ every once in a while. I would like to sit there and get some extra sex. I would, other than my birthday, whatever scenarios that we can sit there and put out there, right? But even with that, if there is, if there is something that is constantly brought to the other person and they are not taking in consideration what that claim is, and then there is consistent, ignoring, right? Then that's where a lot of that comes into play. That's where they get to the idea of a divorce. And so then whenever we're sitting there having the conversations about no fault, those are some of the things that lead to no fault. These are not things that are abusive. These are not things that are putting somebody in danger. These are not endangering the kids, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the reason I sat there and explained it like that. So that way some people could understand. Maybe not you, maybe not I, but other people may understand, especially people who have never been married.
I'm more confused now than I was before.
Basically, she said that women can't be held really accountable because men aren't listening to the whining and bitching and moaning and crying well enough. That's what I got out of it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but what I got. Hold on. I listened that whole time. And so, and if men just listened better, which by the way, we do, and just did the things that women told them to do, life would be much better. Unfortunately, we're men and we lead the relationship, not women. That's just a fact. I'm sorry. I'm the patriarch. It's just the way it is. And I lead my wife. Sure. Okay. My wife does not whine, bitch, and moan and cry. Now now I will say I have a unique wife. My wife is awesome. She's amazing. She's a wonderful woman. She just got back from China, took some amazing
Blink
pictures.
twice if she's listening.
Right. She was in Salt Lake City this week. I was in Vegas. So, it's we were but together, but so my wife will yell at me. My wife will tell me that I'm fucking up. My wife in the relationship, I'm the only one that's ever gotten a black eye. She gave me a black eye once when she was young. But
she fucked you up, huh?
She fucked me up, yeah. And
mean right hook?
Elbow.
Elbow.
Yeah. And so
I deserved it too.
No, I really didn't, but I was young. My wife's 11 years younger than me. But none of that has anything to do with why people get no fault divorces, right? Or overwhelmingly, it's women that go ask for no fault divorces. Overwhelmingly. I just don't love him anymore. I just don't feel the same way I feel about him.
No. You're making a conflation there. Just because somebody
maybe a little bit. I'll give you that. Maybe a little bit. I'm being a little hyperbolic. I'll give you that. But overwhelmingly, it's women that ask
you
that.
said overwhelmingly. You did not say 100%. So, I mean, please. Okay, I'm happy that does not relate to your relationship, but your relationship is not the most common.
The majority here, right?
Okay, yes, we do.
I don't care about
but once again, okay, so if we're going to sit there and talk about majority, then let's talk about majority. There's a whole lot of people out here that don't understand what marriage is. And whenever they sit there and they get to somebody, whenever they get together, especially amongst the hookup culture and a lot of the shit that we actually have out here nowadays, then you're gonna have some women that are like, oh well damn, he don't fucking listen. I don't feel the way because he doesn't listen. Hold on. And then we're also gonna have men that are like, damn, I want a divorce because she ain't sucking my dick the way she used to. I'm not getting the type of fucking ass I used to get. I'm not getting this and da-da-da. I'm trying not to cheat, but I mean, damn, I'm not getting it at home. So, I mean, if we're going to sit there and have that conversation, and I'm going to go on a limb and say, you probably get as much ass as you want to. Okay. But once again, I don't need to know. But your relationship, my relationship, we may be considered unicorns. We are not the average because once again, we are not getting divorced. Right.
Okay. So again, I
So
don't give a
please don't
shit.
sit there and speak on the
Hold on.
average.
I don't give a shit because when I say overwhelmingly, and you admit that it's the majority, we don't have any other point to make. The point is made. The overwhelming number of divorces that are filed for no fault are by women, not by men. So we can just that's the end of that. I don't care about any other justification. It's just the way it is. Now I don't know why. I'm not trying to guess why. I gave a couple of reasons.
Fascinating.
Could be possible. But
Somehow you know it's majority, yet you don't know why. And God forbid you do a little bit of research to sit there and figure out why women have done that. That's crazy.
They say dissatisfaction in the marriage, but what does that mean?
What do you,
it may mean that
what do
the
you
guy's not
mean?
getting his dick sucked enough. It could mean that the guy's not bringing home enough money. It could mean that the guy wants, the guy just isn't interested in her ass anymore. I don't know. But it's irrelevant because, again, the fact is that a majority of women are the ones that file for no-fault divorce, not men. Men are not doing that. There's not 80% of men going out there and saying, I just don't like my wife anymore. I'm out. Men will actually stay in marriages that are really bad for them longer than women will. And we know that. So I don't understand your point other than women don't have to be held accountable and men do. Now, if you can
once
make
again, I didn't say that. So, sir, if you feeling like that, that might be a personal thing between you and your lady you might need to talk about. I never said those words.
But if you can make a point that doesn't illustrate that women are the ones being wronged, then I'm willing to listen to it. And certainly I'm sure that there are women out there that get married for all kinds of reasons for at fault, right? Or getting neglected, abused.
Don't fucking give her any ground, grid. There's no rope for her.
No, I'm not giving ground. Those are at fault divorces. But we're talking about women who just don't want to be married to this dude anymore.
We were talking about at fault divorces.
No, we were talking about no fault divorces.
No. Oh, okay. At fault. Yeah. I got you. My bad.
Yeah, just English. It's okay.
Yeah, it is your bad.
Anyway,
you don't even know what you're fucking arguing right now.
Give me an example of.
I didn't even hear what you said. Can you please repeat that?
What I said is that you lost.
I wasn't talking about you. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the person that's on panel with me. That's doing a side by side. Can you repeat that, Mr. Grid?
Which part? I said a lot. So.
The last part. Yeah.
So if you could define why men seek no fault divorces, I would love that. Otherwise, the onus is on women, right? They're the ones seeking.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me get this straight. You sat there and said that supposedly the women are the overwhelming power in that, and somehow then you sat there and made an acronym. Okay, you're right. You didn't say power. You said the stats are that women were the ones that were doing it overwhelmingly, right? As far as the majority. And then you sat there and then you used an example of 80%. And then
I picked that number out of the air. I say it could be 80%.
And
it's majority.
And now supposedly you want somebody else to sit there and do the work to see why, because you sat there and said you didn't know why. And then I also said that you could sit there and do the research, and you kind of skipped over that. And now you want me to do the research on why men sit there and pick that?
No, okay, fair enough.
Am I clear?
You gave me a lot of reasons why you think that women might seek a no-fault divorce, which is that they've been bitching this whole time and we're just not listening to their bitching and we don't care about them, and now all of a sudden they want to leave. I don't actually believe that. I think that that's probably the lower number. I think that's a low number. I can't prove that, but I don't actually believe it. And I would just really like some definition or a point of maybe a worldview. A worldview would help. Like, do you believe in patriarchy? Do you believe that women bear the responsibility of serving, of being these, submitting to their men and the leadership of the men? And do you believe, do you believe in equality or whatever? I'm very curious. This will help out.
Okay, all I really heard was, do I believe in the patriarchy? Do I believe it exists? Sure. Do I agree with it? No.
Okay, then we're not going to see eye to eye because our worldviews just aren't going to align. My worldview is that men lead the relationship, the women submit in the relationship.
That's interesting because, the same foundation that they supposedly had that argument in is also the same foundation that sits there and says that men are also supposed to sit there and literally love their wives like they supposedly love the church, which is also in a form submitting to them. But supposedly, because hierarchy, because I also believe that you earlier sat there and said that religion had nothing to do with it. Which actually, when it comes to the patriarchy, religion, hold on. Religion has hold on,
Well, just
sir.
don't straw man.
No need to hold on.
Religion
You
has
think religion is some
100% to
type
do
of
with it. It's not a straw
gotcha.
man. It's not a straw
I
man.
didn't say.
It's not
I
a straw
didn't.
man,
You
but
sat
it's
there and
just an
stated that
irrelevant
earlier. You
point
sat there and
because
said that did you not sit there and say it had nothing to do with religion? Didn't you
No,
say
I
that? Yes
said
or
I
no?
didn't need religion to make my argument.
Actually,
Beth
no, sir. What you
asked me very
stated was
specifically.
earlier, you sat there and said whenever you were sitting there and trying to debate a contractual agreement that marriage was supposed to be with the
Yes,
government,
I said
that
I
whenever
did
we were
not need
talking about
religion to make
ceremonies,
my
you
argument.
said religion had nothing to do with it. Anybody
No,
can
I did
sit there and
not.
be of any other religion. Okay.
I
Oh,
said
well.
Beth
All
asked
right.
me specifically if I was coming at it from a Christian worldview, and I said no, I don't need religion to make my argument. And I didn't say and here's why, but I implied and here's why. I don't know what you heard, but that is not what the reality is. Beth, you may give your 2 cents if you like, if you're still here.
I'm still here. What did you want my 2 cents on?
When earlier, when you asked me if I was using a Christian worldview,
oh yes, okay.
I'm paraphrasing. I said no, I did not need religion to make my argument, and I gave a bunch of reasons why.
I agree with that, and I understood where you're coming from, and I was gonna go a different route as far as would it be acceptable under a different way, but I stopped right there because I understood that you were not coming at it from that standpoint.
Correct. I don't need religion to make the argument against no fault divorce.
Okay,
Which, by
so
the
what
way,
I was
caught me off guard because you used to be in favor of no fault, I thought.
I've never been in favor of no fault. I understand the need for no fault in very specific cases.
Gotcha.
Right? Where maybe you just got married too young, or maybe there's too much differences there. So you got married in Vegas, and after a month you're like, "Fuck, this was stupid."
Yeah.
I got that, right? Like I totally understand. I don't have a
You're a
problem with
fan
that.
of the nanny state. More government.
No, I'm not. I would say the same thing as a contractual marriage or a covenant marriage or a marriage before the church or whatever. I mean,
if we need to justify to the state why we're getting divorced, that is necessarily more of a nanny state. That's oversight. That's
right. I would agree with no fault in those circumstances where you just say, "Hey, we're just compatible." Each of them say we're not compatible or whatever. Hey, we something.
But if
stupid.
one's not down with it, then the other should be trapped.
We're really, really, we were really, really drunk and we didn't know what we were doing.
But if one doesn't want it, the other one should be trapped.
Well, no, there would be at fault. Right? There would be a reason why that person doesn't want to be there.
So if they have any significant assets, then yes, effectively the other one is trapped.
What?
If there's no
walk me. All right, hold on, Dusty. Walk me down this, man, because you I don't know where you're at here.
Okay. What is it that you're not understanding?
Well,
the government you want with fault divorce, then the couple would have to justify to the government why they want what they want. That's more government oversight.
Well, regardless, even if I said I wanted it done in a church, they're going to have to explain to someone why they want to get rid of their marriage. Otherwise, why even have the term marriage?
I mean, why get so hung up on the term marriage? I'm asking about the mechanics of it, though. You want more government oversight over the people.
Okay, so let's agree on a couple of things. Marriage is an agreement, a covenant for life between man and woman.
Marriage is you say covenant, which implies a religious component, but even though you didn't say that explicitly.
Well, a covenant as an agreement, right? Like
it's an agreement. It's a social decree. It's a social decree.
No, it's not a decree. It's not a decree. It's more binding than that. It's
on display.
It is a promise for life, correct? That's what marriage is?
That's not part of the binding. That's not the binding part.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Is it or is it not? Is marriage intended to be for life?
The wedding vows typically include till death do us part. However, that is not the legally binding part.
I don't care about the legally binding bullshit. I want to understand what your idea of marriage is. If your idea of marriage is we're shacking up for 3 years and then I'm going to move on, then I understand your world. I understand completely, and you're fine. But
I would say it's intended in a best case scenario. Yeah, it's an aspiration. It's a hope for life.
Okay.
I would not say that anybody who gets married today is actually intending to bind themselves where they don't want to be.
Okay. So if you think that marriage is a temporary state, then I can't even argue with you because I don't agree with that at all.
I didn't
regardless of whether you're getting married in the state, in the church, in a parking lot outside, unless it is forever, then I can't even argue the point. Now, hold
on, I apologize, NPC, for not greeting you specifically. Welcome to the panel.
Yeah, you guys are having a riveting debate and all, but you asked me a question, and you're not being penalized, dude.
I asked you that in the Discord.
Yeah. You asked me to come up, so
I asked, but then after that, I said we should handle it in Discord and not derail the conversation.
I mean, okay, well, I'm here. It won't take long. Just be a second. You asked me a question, so I said you're not penalized.
Then I asked you not to disrupt the conversation.
I didn't see that part.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you're asking if you were penalized for your vote swing.
I'm asking what changes you're making. Yes.
No, there's not. I just put that post. Oh, Shadow Buddha did, and plus, Shadow Buddha and I are 50-50 putting it on this event, just like last year. So that's why he made that post, because we saw a crazy upswing we haven't seen in the 9 weeks we've been doing the voting, and it was accompanied by all these African people. I assume they're from Africa voting, making these comments about amazing, non-context.
I understand voting.
What action? How is that going to impact things? I'm just looking for the tangible action.
No, I just said that you're not being affected. That was one of the options when he said, it's not validated, but because it was fishy, we're like, what the fuck's going on? Because we haven't seen that. So you're good.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That does look fishy. I just you could trace, and that's why I provided you the link. You can trace and see where I was actually doing things to send it over there.
Yeah, I saw
that sounds pretty fucking racist and illegal, Flo. Why would you do that?
Can you ever just chill?
I'm chilling right now. What are you talking about?
I was thinking, dude, I know it's all in fun, right? This is all in fun. And I know you wouldn't. I know it wasn't you. If somebody was doing something like that, you didn't sanction that for sure. It was just weird to see it, because this is basically like who would cheat on a fucking a high school election basically.
Well, and if I was right, yeah, I just wanted to know what Shadow Buddha meant by that, because he said they won't be counted. So Shadow Buddha was just talking out of turn.
No, he's talking in his turn, man. He was maybe should have been more specific. I'll just say that, because we just don't want any cheating. Whoever.
No, I get that.
Obviously,
yeah, I get that. But if no action is being taken, right? If the numbers are still what's being represented,
yeah, it's still
then he was just talking out of turn, because he said that they would be not counted, and so I wanted to know what that meant specifically.
Well, he was
because the way he said it, it looked like he was not gonna count anything on the 22nd or 23rd.
Oh yeah, maybe it's preemptive in the sense that if that continued, that type of stuff, we would have been looking into it. But there's really no way out, unless you have some special software where you can look into the voting anyway. And so you're good.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
I wanted to sit there and make a comment. Whenever we're sitting here and talking about,
ma'am, hold on, ma'am. I want to say something real quick. You've been yapping your gums respectfully the whole time. Chuck,
Chuck, watch that shit, Gabriel.
No, I hear, but I apologize, because that's your wife, right? I apologize, but sorry about that, bro.
She's here to talk. She can defend herself.
There you go. But no, I just want to say this. I just want to say this. I'll be out. You guys can have your fun again.
Well, I gotta go.
Chuck,
I got a 3 a.m. flight.
Okay, cool. But Chuck, bro,
flow is fun,
you should
man.
For someone who's older, watch your mouth, bro. I heard you call me a bitch, man. Just know that, like, it's not that serious to be calling people that over an election. Come on, bro. You're better than that, man. Or I thought you were.
Did he do that here?
Yeah, on your panel.
I wasn't paying attention.
I thought he was talking about Shadow Buddha. But I may have misheard.
Whatever he's saying, bro. Like, come on, man. Not that serious, dog.
Well.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to yapping my gums. So one of the things, sure. One of the things that whenever you're sitting there asking what is marriage, marriage initially was a way of transferring how it was transferring land as well as certain wealth from pretty much one family to another. So whenever you're sitting there and trying to romanticize the idea of it being forever, it was a contract between families, and usually it was a contract from the female's father to whoever it is that she was marrying. It wasn't, she was literally just the, she was just the, pretty much she was the metaphorical cow. So whenever you guys are even having this conversation, I mean, that was the origins of marriage. It was literally a transfer of power. That's why they had dowries and everything else.
About that, you might be talking about one specific culture, but that is not a global thing, and that only applies to a certain class of people.
Flow State, I got to dip, man. I'm sorry. We were having a good time here, but it's.
I apologize for the interruption.
That's all good, man. It's 11 o'clock here. I got to get up in 3.5 hours, so I get to bed.
Well, you might as well.
It was nice to meet you.
Just push through. Don't sleep at all. Take it from somebody who spent years of his life
you're
away.
Bad influence, Flow. You're bad.
No,
bad
go to
Flow.
bed. Get some sleep and fucking be okay at work
All
tomorrow.
of you in chat, donate more.
That's a good idea. But Grid, who do you think knows more about unhealthy sleep patterns? You or somebody who did meth for a decade?
That's true. You are the master of unhealthy sleep patterns. So, but I still got to pack some shit up and got to get some sleep. But it was great. It was a good conversation. We can have it again sometime. And I will. I'll take my leave. You guys are wonderful.
Be safe.
It's good to see you, Greg.
All right.
So back to the degenerates.
Well,
now what, fearless leader?
I don't know, because we were getting into it, but yeah, no, I guess.
Can we imagine like ourselves in Grid's brain for a minute?
God damn it, Joseph! I'm gonna. I would, if I ever meet you, I'm just gonna slap you. I'm just gonna slap the shit out of you, not because I hate you, but just because like you just irritate the fuck out of me sometimes, and part of it is because you got a shitty mic. But if anybody's curious what was going on, that was NPC coming up to address something that Shadow Buddha had put in some of the discords, which said, and here I'll just read it so that people are up to date. Damn, did I close that tab? I closed that tab. I got you. I got it back. Let's see. So there, he put a comment in a few tabs that said, "I hope everyone is having a great day." Blah blah blah. For the Audience Choice Award between Rob Noor and Powder Dusty, we noticed a lot of bots on 122 and 123 in favor of one of the candidates. Please be warned that the bots on 122 and 123 will not be counted on the poll and is considered cheating. Thank you for your participation and looking forward to joining the festivities. So that sounded to me like he was saying nothing on the 22nd or 23rd is getting counted. When obviously anyone who was here last night, I made a push, and there's a bunch of people even on panel going, "Oh yeah, I'm going to vote now." Right? So
campaign for it all night.
10th man has been doing it too.
Yeah, and 10th man's been doing it, and I intentionally waited to, actually push it. I mentioned it up front when it first started, but then I didn't keep trying to rack it up during the intermediate period because Rob's got access to a bigger audience than I do. Apparently,
Does he really though?
Well, that's what's in question. So, anyways, and I get what Shadow Boot is talking about. There was some weird comments on there that look like bot comments, but I think all the change in number difference happened while we were while I was live and sending people over, and also the comments look like they happened earlier before any of the numbers changed. It looks like there's about a
From
4 or 5 hour
recollection, it was within the first 5 hours when that changed.
And I thought I said it was a bitch move. I wasn't calling somebody a bitch. I was referring to posting it like that, not even coming to the people involved. I just thought it was a bitch move.
That's my primary complaint with the situation is they came to conclusions on their own, which it is their channel. They can do that in their whole system however they want to. That's fine. But doing a public posting of stating, oh, well, these are definitely bots, so we're not going to count them. They should have at least, you're easy to contact if you answer.
Yeah.
You might not.
Well, and so I guess Shadow Buddha did tag me in the post that he put in NPC the Game's Discord. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay. Babe, I'm gonna go ahead. No, I'm talking to my husband real quick. Babe, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get the bed ready. And whenever you want to take that bath, yeah. Okay. Thank you guys so much for having me up here. And I will be
in the bath.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Have a good night.
Damn, Joe.
Be careful with electric toys in there.
Oh no, his name is Exile. That's the toy. So yeah. Bye.
Oh yeah.
We wouldn't want any electrocutions happening. It's way too
Before
cold.
you go, can we hear about a few more of your toys?
Oh,
Who just left? Because it wasn't exiled.
No, but I'm about to leave.
I booted him for being.
Oh, you did.
It was Joe.
I dropped him as soon as he started talking because I saw it coming.
Catch y'all later.
Be good.
So my apologies for being bitches, but I was referring to what was being done was a bitch move.
Dusty, could it be that one of our favorite oppositions sent people over there to post troll comments so it looks suspicious when you climbed?
I mean, anybody can do anything. I'm not. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, the speculation is.
Well, how else was you supposed to take that comment?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like Shadow Buddha was talking out of turn.
It does sound like an accusation to me.
It was an accusation. It was a soft accusation, and it was a definite statement of actions that would be taken But yeah, so Shadow Buddha's out of turn.
Right. I wasn't trying to start no shit, but I just thought it was very shitty.
You didn't start any shit.
Okay.
For once, you're innocent, Chuck.
I'm sorry.
I said, for once, you're innocent.
Well, I mean, it's good you brought it to my attention because somebody knew.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm a messy girl, but I just right play is right play.
I feel you.
I really wish Marte would have come up here to at least, discuss anything with you tonight. That would have been very entertaining.
Say that again.
I wish Marte would have at least come up tonight to try to debate you.
He won't.
I know he won't.
Yeah. I wonder if he's trying. I wonder why he's over here was doing that at all. I wonder if he's trying to how contractors will pick a fight with a subcontractor right after the job's done, but before they pay him the final. I wonder if he's trying to do something like that, like finding